Hey, what's up, guys? What's up? What's up, family, guys and gals, fellow YouTubers, fans of the hobby, and those of us that have sworn our souls more or less to it. Oh my goodness. What a week. What a week. What a week. Um, of course, before you ask, I went to see Spider Man. You better believe it. It was our Thursday night. Tickets went on sale, I believe it was Monday last week. I don't remember whether it was last week or week before. They went on sale like at 11 o'clock in the morning, my time here in California. And, I was busy doing who knows what. Didn't log on at exactly 11 o'clock and logged on around 1 o'clock to buy my tickets. And the first five showings were sold out. My movie house was sold out at the 10:25 show, which is when I finally got to go. 10:25 at night was when I was finally able to go. And there was still probably, I would say, out of how many the big theater holds in a theater, um, which I counted one day, and it's a lot, but it's not as many as I thought it held. Actually, they're all the big lounger seats now that recline. There was probably, I'd say, 50 people dressed up in full-on Spider-Man garb or Venom material, or maybe just a shirt that specifically was of Spider-Man or Venom. It was really exciting um, to see the fans turn out like that. It's not the first time I've been to a showing where people have dressed up for the show, or matter of fact, nothing like Rocky Horror Picture Show, how that used to be back in the day, back in the 80s and early 90s. I don't know if Rocky Horror Picture Show still does that. I have no idea if anybody does a Rocky Horror Picture Show like they used to do. But what a great movie, I have to say. Um, I saw on Sunday a really, really good movie called A Journal for Jordan, produced by Denzel Washington. Excuse me, directed by Denzel Washington. And I think Michael B. Jordan produced it. Um, at this particular showing, I always try to buy the advance tickets or whatever that they are offering. And I think this one truly was an advanced screening on Sunday, because when I sat down, there was no credits rolling. There was no trailers running, no commercials, just a black screen, and then up popped a video message from Michael B. Jordan, and I think it was his wife. I don't know. I don't know who the woman was. It may have been the woman who wrote the story, who gave a brief introduction to the movie and thanked us for being there, and then the movie started. Simple as that. And so I'll talk about that since I started talking about that, and we'll get back to Spidey. What a powerful movie! It's a love story between an army soldier and a woman that he met who was a journalist for the New York Times, and it's based on actual events, based on a true person. These people actually exist that this movie is portraying, and their love affair that the two of them develop over the I think it's 8 years that they were together, and what an amazing story. If you've seen the trailer, you know that it's about this father who dies but has written a journal for his son to guide him through life. Oh my God, what a tearjerker! Just thinking about it now really just brings tears to my eyes, because it's a true story. The um, the woman who wrote the story is the woman who is portrayed in the movie as well, and she has since been uh, left the New York Times and now works for Simon and Schuster as a vice president of publishing or something that along the lines. So it's a book turned into a movie. God, what a tearjerker thinking about it. Anyhow, it's a really, really good love story. If you want to see a good love story, or just need to go get a good cry out or whatever, go see A Journal for Jordan. You will not be disappointed at all. Not at all. I'm telling you. It's a really good movie. So then, Thursday, I was at Spider Man. Oh my God. Get these Journal for Jordan tears out of my face here. What an amazingly well done movie. Um, it's absolutely everything that you expect, for the most part. Uh, if you have any preconceived idea of what you think the movie's going to be, yeah, you're probably right. So it's really, really, really. I don't want to tell you anything about the movie, and I don't want you to watch any more trailers because the most amazing thing about the movie is the surprise elements. All the surprise elements. When you're sitting there and something happens and you hear the murmur in the audience of everyone trying to figure out or speculate what's going on, who's popping up, who's coming into the scene, who's coming out of the back curtains, who's stepping out from behind the wall. Oh, what an exciting, amazing moment! And then when you're there and you just hear this roar of cheering or applauding and screaming and all that just erupt through the theater as everyone's overly excited about the moment that's on the film. Oh my God! So you know the rule: we can't talk about the spoilers. Can't talk about the movies for 2 weeks. We can talk about the movies, but we can't reveal anything. And there's the movie is so full of so many things that you don't want to know about until you're in the theater. You really, the more you're surprised, the better the movie becomes. Obviously, from the trailers, there's some spoilers, and I'm not going to go over those because some of you are adamant that you won't even watch the trailers, and I respect that. And uh, it's really, really, really great, and they take advantage of the full screen. So, yeah, you can see it on your television. Probably, I don't even know. They may be streaming it now. I don't know how quickly they're planning on bringing it to streaming. But granted, you can see it on your 75, 80-inch TV or projector screen, 110-inch TV or whatever. But getting that full excitement from the audience and having to sit there and look to the left corner and then look down to the right corner and then look to the left lower corner and up to the right corner and your head just constantly moving to keep up with the action. It just makes for a really, really, really good movie. There's a mid-credit scene that is exciting, and the end credit scene seemed more like a movie trailer than anything else. And I think what that is because Kevin Feige was involved in this, by the way. He was one of the producers or something. Um, so, you know, God had his hands in this Columbia Pictures slash Sony Pictures um, movie, which is nice. And Feige, since the beginning with Favreau and Iron Man, they always had that scene at the end of the movie or in the mid credits that kind of gave you a little tease of what's coming up next, you know? And I think Columbia was trying to do the same thing, and it really just plays out like a trailer. Very good trailer, I'll say that, but it is it didn't have that feel of being necessarily a little secret that we're telling you more or less at the end of this show. It just felt like a here's our next movie coming out type of a thing. Though it was related, it was totally related, but it just didn't feel like as if they were doing us a favor. It just felt like they were showing us whatever trailer is going to be popping out next week for this new movie coming out, which is a little disappointing. um, the trailers that they showed, by the way, was the new Batman, which looks exciting. And there was another trailer that I saw that I was like, oh, I'll definitely have to go check that out. I don't remember what it was. But of course, all the big movies were shown before it. There was over 30 minutes of trailers and whatnot before the movie started. I'm talking about from the time that they said the movie starts at 10:25. 10:55 was when the movie started. So if you got there before 10:25, 10:15 or whatever, whenever they start seating it, you've got that much time of trailers and then another 30 minutes of trailers. So they definitely were making their money on the movie. So don't worry about necessarily getting there right on time. You can skip some of the trailers if you want. and closer to movie time, the more the trailers became more specific to the genre. For instance, Morbius, in that regards. The nice thing is there was a couple of surprises in the movie that I truthfully did not expect to see at all. I mean, these were so far out in left field that it was a total shock and surprise when these surprises happened. I mean, for real, it was a real surprise. And so don't watch any of the trailers. Go see the movie. Spend whatever it costs you, 10, 11, 13, 17, $20, and just enjoy it. It's well worth it. Well worth it. And what I decided what I was going to do is I'm just not going to do anything next 2 weeks. All right. So let's take Christmas weekend off. Let's take New Year's weekend off because, my goodness, New Year's Eve is Friday night. That's when everyone's going to be doing something, I would imagine, even if you just go to bed at a normal time. I just don't want to push anyone into doing anything for these next 2 weeks. So just enjoy the time with your family. Go out and have yourself some fun. Interact with the real world. And we'll talk about all of this on January 9th. January 9th, you know, spoilers be damned. They're going to be out there. Matrix Resurrection, I'll be going to see that this week. Don't remember whether it's Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to go see that. That looks very interesting. I'm going to have to watch the last Matrix movie because it appears that in the Resurrection, he's forgot that he was Neo. And I don't remember the television, I don't remember the series ending with him being reintegrated back into the system. Maybe he did. And somehow I missed that story. Do any of you know? Let's go over and check chat. Toy Mafia, how you doing? Merry Christmas. Jake, how's it going? C'est bon maison. How are you? I can say this. I pray that Hot Toys makes every being that appears in that movie, in Spider-Man. I do. I pray they make them all. It would be ridiculous for them not to. And you don't have to have watched the other Spider-Man movies to understand what's going on, because they literally explain it to Tom Holland and Michelle and Ned, so they get an explanation of what's happening. But if you've seen the 5 movies, okay, I'm talking about Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, and Andrew Garfield's 1 and 2, then you'll understand totally what's going on. But that's the only spoiler I'll give you. That's it. And I pray that they make every single figure of the main characters that everyone that was portrayed in the show, in the movie. I think there was only one actor that didn't reprise their role. Okay? Or actress. I won't say who it is. Talk about that in a couple of weeks. And I don't know why they didn't. I need to look that up. Maybe they just decided they didn't want to be a part of it anymore. But exciting movie. Exciting a movie. Daggerancis, thank you. Yeah, let's talk about the Corvette next. You've got to go see it, CBS Sci-Fi. You have got to see it. I don't know if it's showing out there where you are yet. I think you're in, forgive me, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you're in the UK. So I don't know if it's a worldwide release right now or if it's just here in the United States or where it is. Go see the movie. Even if you have to wait till Tuesday night or Tuesday afternoon or whenever it is that it's matinee price, go see it. Go see it. Go see it and enjoy it. Like I said, even if you're remotely a Spider-Man fan, you're going to love it. And oh God. They made some amazing comments in the movie that were just unbelievable. I didn't feel I was being talked down to. I didn't feel like I had a social justice warrior trying to explain to me wokeism. I didn't feel that they were trying to replace anybody with, an actor or actress or a character that doesn't necessarily deserve to wear whatever such and such yada yada. You know, the game that they have been playing of late in the last handful of years in Hollywood. I never felt that at all throughout the entire thing. Really, really good story. Really good story. A lot of stars in the movie. Really good story and some surprises. Some really good surprises. I couldn't I couldn't prepare myself for some of the surprises. It was just amazing. So please don't watch any of the trailers. Don't let anybody tell you anything about it, and just go enjoy the movie for real. Go enjoy the movie for fact. So as CBS as Dagger has commented on uh, Saturday last week, I think it was Saturday, received my email to submit my deposit, what they call the second deposit for my Corvette. So the way Corvettes sales work is that Chevrolet rewards the dealerships that sell Corvettes with Corvettes to sell. So any Chevrolet dealership can sell a Corvette. Okay, you don't have to be a specialty dealership to sell Corvettes. But in order to be able to get a lot of Corvettes, you have to sell a lot of Corvettes. And the way the dealerships build that, if they're not one that normally, is they will contact other dealerships that have a higher number of Corvettes coming to their inventory and have them shipped through there so they can get the boost of sales. So, for instance, if the dealership is a real small dealership, they may only get an allocation of one or two Corvettes for the entire year, and they may have five people to come through want to buy a Corvette. They'll reach out to the other dealerships and do a trade off. Like maybe this particular dealership is big on pickup trucks because it's in the middle of Texas someplace or someplace where they sell a lot of pickup trucks, and they may be able to barter that to the dealership that may have more Corvettes in order to trade off, and that may increase their allocation if they continue to have that type of a shift of things. The number one retailer of new Corvettes is Corvette out of Langston, New Jersey. They recently changed hands. They're now called Ciocca Corvette, Ciocca. Same location, just new owner. And they average around 1,000 Corvettes a year that they sell. They're brand new Corvettes that they sell out of there. So that gives you an idea of how many they're moving. There's only 365 days in a year. So if you're moving 1,000 Corvettes, you're selling three a day. And there's, like I said, there's dealerships that might only get two in an entire year, if that. So I reached out to them, and so they have an allocation list, which every month Chevrolet contacts their dealers and tells them how many cars are being allocated to that dealership to sell for that month or whatever, for their inventory or however. And by giving them $1,000 deposit to Ciocca, that puts you on this allocation list, so that when they get an allocation number from Chevrolet, let's say for instance it's a slow month and Chevrolet only is able to produce 67 Corvettes, that this dealership can get because they're actually producing, let's say, 500 that month, and divided over all the 50 states and whatever else worldwide that they may sell these at, that determines how many this dealership gets. So when you're on this list, whatever their allocation is, they just go down this list, bang, 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 bang. And normally, the allocation list for Quebec is 200 a month. Okay? Some months it's more, some months it's less. There's been a lot of problems this year with COVID and chips, and now a tornado that damaged the assembly plant and damaged the Corvette Museum, which is across the street, if I remember correctly, from the assembly plant. That went right through Kentucky and killed many people and damaged the plant. So obviously they shut the plant down for that. So there's just been one thing after the other in regards to pumping out Corvettes this year. So yeah, I paid that $1,000 in May to be put on the allocation list. And when I talked to my local dealership, they said 18 months to 2 years would be the time that you'll get your Corvette from the moment that you get put on their allocation list. And Quebec told me maybe by December, when I did talk to them in May this year. So needless to say, in December I was contacted. So I had to then actually build my car, which I'd done countless times before that, going to the website and to the Corvette, to the Chevrolet website, and literally clicking all the buttons, choosing all the options, and building my Corvette. For the most part, what's changed has been the performance options in my builds and the interior. So I finally had to settle on something. What didn't change was the exterior color is red mist metallic and a convertible. Everything else I've gone back and forth on in regards to what options I wanted on the car. So I had to finally nail it down and make a decision and send them that build sheet and a security deposit of an additional $5,000. So now I'm $6,000 invested into it, and that shifts that money. So when you've given the $1,000, that's refundable. If you back out, you're like, nah, you know what, Corvette's no longer in my vision. I don't want to get it anymore. Whatever, they'll give you that $1,000 back that they put you on the allocation list. Once you make your deposit, once you submit your build, that money's not coming back to you, and it's going towards the purchase of your car that you're now committed to. And the majority of purchasers or customers that buy theirs through Sioka at that point will pay $5,000. Some people pay up to 10% of the price of the vehicle. And what they base that off of is whether or not the Corvette that you're ordering is a car that they can sell off of their lot in case you back out of it. So if you're ordering, a regular style car, which they know that they're not going to have any problem selling this, it's option property, it's got a good color on it, doesn't have anything weird on it, then it's not going to sit on their lot and cost them any money. If you start ordering something that's just unusual, maybe or let's say, for instance, you order it, and I don't know exactly how this works, but you order it as a racing vehicle, or you have some custom work or something done, or like a high spoiler or something along that line, then they will charge you 10% of the value of your vehicle as your down payment. So mine was only $5,000, and the vehicle priced out at $96,435. So that now has the $6,000 removed from it, but tax, title, and tag on top of all that, I think pushed it up to 105,000 or there around is the total price of the vehicle with tax, title, and tag. And so they subtract the 6,000 from that, it'll be like $99,000 that I'll have to come up with when the vehicle is ready. So submitted the gave them the money, submitted the build, and I received my first response that the order is in. And now there's a whole list of numbers that will pop up. It's showing me the guide of how the build is coming. And the first one that I'm looking for, I think, is called the number 3000. And that one just lets you know that Chevrolet has accepted your order in the way that you've built it and is going to start the process. And what happens is they will run out of pieces, or maybe something specifically is only a limited edition, like they were offering a yellow and a silver color painted car that resembled their racing versions, and you can't buy those anymore. Those are done. What the two things that they said were not available when I ordered specifically, one was the black ground effects package was no longer available for the 2022 model year, and the mud flaps were no longer available for the car. So both of those, I'm sure, can be ordered from a dealership later on and attached to the car at that point, but the factory is no longer installing them on the car. So, and that happens as well. But really excited about that. I plan on making a video of clicking through everything so you can actually see the build that I did. And I thought I would do that, and I had not, but I will. I think I'll record a video of me clicking through everything in case you're curious, and see what my Corvette should look like. Now, the question then is, when will it be ready? And that's always everyone's big question. And normally it's 2 months. So you would say the middle of February, but they had to shut the plant down due to the tornado for at least a week. I haven't checked the forums to see what's going on with that yet. So it might not be until March before my Corvette's ready. So that's where we are with that. And I'm really, really, really nervous and excited at this point. You know what I mean? So it's a big deal to me. It really is a big, big deal to me. Jiggy T's, is it Morgan Stark? And yes, I'm in the UK. I think my Battle Damage Mark 85 is in next week. Woo! With the EXO 6. Nice. Nice. Yeah, did you notice that there was a lot of figures announced this week, too? So I think I saw Spidey in 3 suits, maybe 4 suits. Tom Holland. I think I saw him in 4 suits. So the black and gold, and the Iron Spider suit, and his classic red and blue, and then he has I think he makes a new suit, or I don't think, I know for a fact he makes a new suit at the end of the movie, and I don't remember too much of. They didn't really do a very well job showing it off. It was dark, so um, I don't believe it's one that Hot Toys has offered yet, but it looks nice, and so yeah, it's going to get expensive if Hot Toys starts cranking out these Spider-Man figures in reference to what we see in the movie, and it's exciting. It's exciting. There's a couple of tearjerker moments in the movie too. Ah, what a great movie! I mean, what a great movie! What a great movie! I'm glad that they decided to go with it the way that they did. I'm sure Avi Arad um, was pushing this. He was he's the guy that's pretty much in charge of Spider-Man for Marvel and Sony in that regards, and so he had his fingers in it. I don't remember the name of the director for the movie, but I feel it was directed well. I don't feel that the actors were lost. I don't feel that there was a moment where, well, okay, about an hour and a half into the movie, I'm checking my phone to see what time it was. So that's not a good sign. But for an hour and a half, they kept me tuned into the movie. I didn't lose track or lose attention. But literally an hour and a half into the movie, I was like, "Oh, what time is it?" So that's there's a moment then where I guess it slows down as far as that goes. The movie seems to have um, more than one ending, and I don't mean like a different ending of the movie. What I mean is, it feels like the movie ends, and then the movie goes again, and the movie ends, and the movie goes again, and the movie ends, and that is not good either. You you don't want to draw your audience out in that regards. If you're going to end the movie, and just get it over with. Um, so I kind of was bothered with that, and could they have done better? Yeah, of course. They can always do better. Did they do great? Definitely, they did great. They did really good with this whole franchise, and I was just really impressed and blown away, and look forward to with great anticipation the sequel to this. You know for a fact there's going to be one, and it looks really exciting. Um, how they've left it, if you will. So I can only theorize or imagine what the sequel could be. I'd be happy to talk with you guys about that in 2 weeks to determine how we think the sequel is going to come about. I have some ideas of what I think is going to happen. So um, there's there's a moment in the film that I think was very necessary, a redeeming moment for one of the characters, which I think was very necessary, and they played that very well, very well. Really powerful movie. Go see Spider-Man No Way Home. Go see it. Go see it for fact. Oh my goodness, go see it. What a great movie. Great movie. I will probably find a way to get out there and see it again this weekend. It's really a powerful, powerful, powerful movie. Great movie. For real. Great movie. So I've got a bunch of figures to unbox. I don't know what to unbox. I've started on this Michael Keaton Iron Scavenger with you guys a couple weeks back. It's still exactly where it was where I left it. Um, it's huge, and I don't want to drag it out until I get something. But you know what? I'm going to drag it out. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to bust open this Iron Scavenger. It's made by Jazz Inc. Jazz Inc. made this. When it was first announced, however many years ago this was, so I don't remember, I just had a very bad taste put in my mouth from Jazz over the land speeder, and I was very cautious in regards to ordering this, and I didn't order it, as a matter of fact, for a long time. I don't remember who it was. One of you, it may have been CBS Sci-Fi, contacted me and showed me something or other, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll go ahead and pull the trigger on it and order it up. But I'm really, really nervous about this. I really feel I was really burned hard on this land speeder. And then to find out that he's made newer, corrected versions of the land speeder and left all of us that bought the original version out in left field or whatever, however you could possibly imagine or whatever, it's how I feel in regards to it. It's just like, jeez. Really disappointed over the land speeder. I mean, just totally disappointed over it. Totally. So I'm praying that this is done properly. And like I said, I cracked it open, but I cracked open the cardboard box, but I'm not doing anything else with it. Nothing's been taken out of this box yet. Looking at the box, it looks like it opens up this manner, flat. So I'm gonna have to make some more room. Move the camera around. See if this makes any difference. Now you can see the rest of the room. All the room you never get to see. Assuming these are supports, there's 2 of them in here. So I'm going to assume these are supports for holding his wings up. As well as these. And I'm going to assume this is the base. It's a good looking base. There's threads in there. It doesn't fit in there, so there must be something in between here and this. It's funny that it was laid the way that it was when there's cutouts in here for those pieces. Which leads me to believe what they should have done. They should have put this in like such, and then put the pieces in here, right? And I don't know why they did it backwards. And it's not like I opened up the box upside down. That's interesting. And obviously these are the holes for the top of that, so this should have gone on top of that. And again, now, same thing, all upside down and backwards is this. So totally, this should have gone in, then that should have been placed on there, and then, actually, this should have been on the top. Jeez. Wow. This is literally one wing. One side of Vulture's Iron Scavenger suit. Let me check something here. That's nice. It rotates and the fan will spin. That's nice. The feathers don't come in anymore. They're definitely fixed into a certain position. This feels like there could possibly be some movement here. I don't know. I'm not going to pull on that. But it looks like it could possibly move. I don't know. So I assume this next piece is the other wing. And again, you know, this doesn't make any sense for it to be packaged upside down like this. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm sorry. And same deal here. It feels like maybe it should move. I don't know if it does or not, but I'm not going to pull on that anymore. This wheel is this fan blade is a little less tight or moves more freely compared to the other. And mind you, Hot Toys is never going to make this figure. So don't hold your breath. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So let's find another upside down styrofoam here, right? And that's all these pieces. And obviously you've seen the box. I didn't open the box upside down. They literally packed it in there upside down. It doesn't make any sense. The fact that nothing fell out of this when I pulled it out of the box is amazing, to tell you the truth. Jeez. Well, something fell out. Two somethings fell out. So this is associated pieces, a screwdriver, batteries. The piece, I imagine, goes into the base to hold the supports in. Some screws to screw something together. An Allen wrench. Two of them, a small one and a big one. That was in this slot. And over here is I'm assuming a backpack to attach it to his body. I don't know exactly. That would here, if it was packaged properly. Trying to pull these arm bases out straight up because I don't want to break the gosh darn things. Gosh darn it. They're actually larger than the cutout. And I'm afraid that if I pull it at an angle, something's going to get broke. So I wonder if that piece attaches back here. elbow's articulated, even with the pieces on there. The hand's not actually holding anything. The knee's articulated. As I bent this left one down, this knee pad popped off. Looks like it's just glued on, so I'll have to glue that back on. And there's articulation in the foot too, blocked with this. I'm kind of feel like I'm only going to half unpack this until I get a place to put him. I like the coat. The coat looks nice. I mean, so far so good, except for packaging and, of course, this little knee pad here popping off. And it's funny, that one just popped off too. So when you make his legs straight, it pops off. I don't know what the deal is with that. Let's move on to the next upside down piece. The instruction manual. And there's the bottom of the box. You can see that box didn't open up down there. So, actually, I could have opened it up on the other side. So they made the box either way. And there's no arrow saying which way to open up. Looking at it down there, it has the exact same opening as this. So pass-through box could have been opened up either way. So I literally opened it upside down because there's no arrow that says this end is up. They both have the exact same attachments there. So my recommendation to you is, if you open yours upside down, flip it over. Jesus Christ. What a mess. Let's go through this. A sticker, anything would have been acceptable. This side up, open other end, anything. Anything would have been nice. Anything would have been nice. Let me know if that was the way to take it out. And even the box that it came in is done diagonally. So here's either the top or the bottom, and that's the side. So you don't know which end is up. So initially looking at it, I'm not disappointed like I was with the land speeder. Little piddly things is my complaint, which is minor in regards to the whole scheme of things. And that piddly thing is packaged upside down. And yeah, this will go on display. There's no doubt about that. This isn't going to stay in his box. I've got to figure out what to do with everything, though. I'm happy to see instructions. Instructions are always nice. Specifically in regards to probably how the wings are attaching and how you're going to display him. And you see it's a beast. I mean, the wings are about the size of this box. So you're going to need at least 3 feet of space for him. Sable Mason, I'm curious, since you're the villain collector, did you pick this up? Are you planning on picking it up? Willie Woodson, how you doing? This one has really tempted me to going into third party. Yeah, that's my question. That's my question. I wish there was a Michael Keaton head. All right. There's not. Let me look at this and see if this helmet comes off. It probably does not. It just wouldn't make any sense to do that. It just wouldn't. There's just no reason to. Truthfully. Yeah, no. It's just a helmet. It's just a helmet. And I don't believe the black mask slides up either. I'm going to check the instruction manual here in a minute, but just gently pushing on it doesn't appear that it does. So now if Hot Toys were to make this, you know, without his wings, that'd be great. You know, how hard is this, really? You know what I'm saying? They could do this. And, you know, give us a Michael Keaton head sculpt. I don't know why they, you know, they could at least do that. That'd be nice. Okay. Step 7 and 8. So it starts off with this red. This is page 1. Do not use electric screwdrivers or electric drills for assembly. The high torque will strip the screws and the threads. It's plastic for the most part. And not resin, which was my fear. That was going to be resin. Please be careful with posing because the exoskeleton will limit movement of your figure. Makes total sense. Please do not put batteries in the figure if you plan to leave the lights off for a long period of time. And we all know that. Batteries are going to dissolve in your figure and it's going to be destroyed. I imagine what the batteries do is probably do something with the fan blades or something. I see a little wire on that. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. I don't think they're going to spin, but probably there's a light someplace on it. I don't know. Or maybe his eyes light up. I don't know. Maybe the head pops off. Yeah. Sure does. So that's where the batteries go. Typical Iron Man style. Little magnet in the top of the head there. And I think the only batteries I saw were the 3 for that, so nothing for the wings, I'm assuming. Be careful of paint rub and scratching when you place the figure in a diorama base or flight stand, and be careful of these little knee pads. They'll pop off. Do not try to disassemble the figure, the exoskeleton, or the clothing. This will cause damage to the figure and the parts. If you're disassembling your hot toy, you better know that you're going to be damaging the figure. Okay? So, a lot of customizers, I've done some customizations over the years. You are literally destroying your figure to make it into something more beautiful. So, it's a full on commitment on that. A lot of snapping, breaking, and popping happens when you're doing that. So, if you decide you're going to customize this for whatever reason, be ready that if it don't work the way that it does, you're buying another one of these to start over again. Okay, so yeah, AG1 is the battery for the helmet. By the way, the AG1, 3 of those, and the on-off switches on the top, just like every other Iron Man. For the most part, the majority of the Iron Man figures, the switch is in the back of the head. Batteries go through the top and the back of the head. So very similar to the Iron Man helmets if you've collected those over the years. If you're going to be putting him in his wings, so according to the instruction manual, this slides up very easily slides up. Slides up and off. Very easily slides up, but doesn't very easily slide off. The bottom one's held on just with a magnet. Okay, that one comes off easily. The top one shows it sliding all the way up. So let's work on that. Why is it not sliding off? And it has to, because you replace it with this piece. This piece screws into it. So this has to come off. There's only one hole visible, and there's definitely 2 holes that go there. So don't know why it's not sliding up more. There we go. Having to rock it left and right. Push up a little bit on the left side, push up a little bit on the right side to get it to come up. There we go. So I suppose I would rather it too tight than too loose. But yeah, it just slides all the way up. There's the tab that slides through the slot, or the tongue that goes into the groove. Then it says pull this piece apart. The appears that it separates. There's a hole on the side right there. It appears that it separates at that hole. Very easily comes apart, very easily. So the big holes there fit with those big posts, I suppose you would say. Snap together well. So that's how that goes. In case you're curious. Let's see if you can see that. So there's two Allen headed screws that screw that back piece into his back. And then there are two, I'm assuming, screwdriver Phillips head screws that screw the wing into the backpack. Now, according to this illustration, on the wing, there's a little hydraulic or elbow piece there. That piece on the side of the ring needs to face the back of the figure. According to this illustration, because this is the back of the suit, Michael would be facing that direction. This would be his back. And this little hydraulic piece here is only on one side of the wing, and that's on the back of the wing. So when you install this, that's how you'll know which is the left and which is the right, is that you'll want to make sure to put that hydraulic piece there towards the back of the wing. I don't see any other indicator that specifically states which way the wing is to go, but that definitely is going to be your visual cue based off of the illustration here in regards to how to install the wing onto the back. I'm not going to do that here because I don't have the room to put him. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. All right. And you can see the Allen headed screws, the larger one. They're actually not screws. There would be bolts. Go up through the bottom of the base and then screw into those articulated arms to support him. And then I guarantee you those blue pieces probably travel between the two posts here on that. I don't know. We'll see what it says as we continue on through the instructions. I'm probably going to move the collection into the living room. I don't know, or at least a portion of it. And this will go in there. Obviously, the living room is twice the size of this bedroom here. So there's a protective film covering on the little blue pieces. And so what they do They have nothing to do with that assembly that I showed you. So an alternative assembly is, instead of having the wings on the maintenance stand, where you could then pose the figure either on it or not on it, I'm assuming, literally looking at this, you could screw the wings into this and just set them on this maintenance stand without being attached to Keaton. I'm assuming. I don't know for fact. I don't know whether or not Keaton supports the wings as well. But the wings screw into this. And it appears that they could possibly be rested on this, what they call it again? Maintenance stand without the figure. I don't know exactly, but it's something to definitely look into. Because this other way of posing it is in a flight configuration, if you will. So this explains what those blue pieces are for. And they screw into the articulated rods. And I don't see exactly how they rest. It appears that as the two blue pieces are screwed into those articulated rods, that they create a gap that the wings slide into to rest on those blue pieces. And then you could, with your Keaton figure attached to the wings, put them into a flight configuration. But no, the wings don't curl forward. They don't fly, per se. You can rotate the fans to do a hovering position if you wanted to. But I'm not overly disappointed. I'm pretty pleased with this, as it turns out. So I think he has redeemed himself for me in regards to the land speeder. I know a lot of you have told me before that you never had a problem with any of the pieces that you've got from Jazz Inc. The only one that I ever purchased before was this land speeder, and it was really a disappointment. Huge disappointment. So I was really nervous of this, and this redeems any opinion that I had over Jazz Inc. in regards to things. So save on. Pick them up, man. Pick them up. I mean, gosh, let's see. Who was the Sinister Six? The Sinister Six was Vulture, Doc Ock, Electro. Was Green Goblin part of the Sinister Six? Was Shocker the next one? And Rhino? Is that who the Sinister Six was? No, Mysterio was one of them. So we have Mysterio, we have Vulture, we have Doc Ock, we have Electro. Was it Green Goblin? Come on, Spider-Man fans, help me out. So that's 4 of them. Was it Green Goblin and Shocker or Rhino? Who was it? Who's not there? If it's Green Goblin, we got the Green Goblin. We got the Fiend, made by Toys R Us. We got Vulture, made by Jazz Inc. Hot Toys made Electro. And we have Doc Ock, made by Toys R Us. And who are the other two? Which one of my Spider-Man fans out there know that? Looking at you, Save on Mason, my villain guy. Robert, how's it going? Happy Saturday. Yes, can't talk about it. Don't talk about Spider-Man. Last time I was in a theater was Endgame and was kind of weird this time. I had to buy a ticket in concession stand and they assigned you a seat. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, so the theaters that I go to have been assigning seats for, oh gosh, maybe 5 years. So the seats that I go to at the theater are reclining seats, and one of the theaters actually has a massaging and a heated seat. So no, you definitely pick your seat now. So they're definitely assigned seats. So that wasn't anything new to me in my theater going experience. Let's see what else, Robert. Nobody there when I saw it. Nobody there when I saw it. When I left, the whole theater was packed crazy. Wow, so you got in there before anybody else. It's funny. The theater that I attend had sent me an email yesterday telling me they've added more shows for the movie. So initially, they draw up their movie theater plans, what movies they're playing, and when and what theaters and for how long. And so they put those out, and like I said, they sold out in a matter of hours. So they've actually added more show times to the lineup. That's how popular the movie has become where I live. So it's interesting that you fell into one that was empty. Mine was totally sold out. Totally sold out. And yeah, it was crazy. I really enjoyed it. Save on for me, I passed because Hot Toys is actually coming out with a lot of villains. I could tell you this: if they make the villains from this movie that you've seen, there's going to be a lot of villains. When you get the vet, will you do a video on it? I will definitely do videos, many videos on the Corvette. I will definitely do a lot of videos on the Corvette. I'm picking it up at the museum. So museum delivery is an option that you can have when you buy a Corvette. And so essentially they take it from the assembly line right across the street, put it in the museum. Then you get a tour of the museum and personalized delivery and a little plaque that says it was delivered to you. They put your name on the plaque. It says it was delivered from the National Corvette Museum. And it's a pretty big deal. So I'll be doing that as well. Um, so I'm really looking forward to that. For fact. For absolute fact. First Corvette. I don't want to do anything more to this until I'm ready to put him where he goes. I really need to work on the house. I really need to work on the house. I need to get the garage set up so I can get the Corvette into it. You buy a two-car garage and you only park one car in it. I've got to make it a two-car garage. That I've got to do. I want to place this plastic back in here so I can pull the figure out. It's a little difficult getting the figure out of that a few seconds ago. So I'll place this back in there so I can pull him back out. No, he will definitely go on display. For fact. Started getting rid of some of my wife's things. And that was pretty hard. So I need to do that. And then claim the living room as mine. Because right now it's still ours. And so there's a lot of things in the living room that won't stay there. A lot of things I have absolutely zero need for. And so once I do that, these big pieces like this, and the land speeder, Hulkbuster, some of those will definitely go into the living room. The Detolfs will head out into the living room. Probably need to buy another dozen Detolfs, actually. So I'll store key pieces in here. This will be still where I'll make the videos, but the showcase pieces will be in the living room. So what I'll put out there then will be the land speeder with the stormtroopers and Luke and Kenobi and R2 and C3PO. And I think 6 stormtroopers, I think that's how many were surrounding them at that moment. So that'll definitely be in the living room, possibly on the coffee table. Vulture will definitely be in the living room. I don't know how the hell I'm going to display him. May have to buy a fish tank to put him inside of. I don't know. I don't have any idea. I don't know. Um, and I'll probably move this Hall of Armor wine cellar out there too. Figure out some way maybe building that the way that I want to. So some of the things I've wanted to do in the past that I never got around to doing. One was building a wine cellar for in between the Iron Legion, the Hall of Armor, underneath the wine cellar, and the workshop. So I've wanted to do that, and I might do that. Put that in the living room. Another thing I've always wanted to do was to build the Iron Man 2 scene where the Mark 6 and War Machine Mark 1 are fighting Whiplash 2. I wanted to build a little stream type of a diorama with that. So I've researched a lot of that. And these are things that just because I say I want to do them doesn't necessarily mean they're ever going to get done. But if I'm putting figures into the living room, because obviously space has been a concern with that, I'll have the room to store them so that there's no reason not to do them other than just not getting around to doing them. So I've always wanted to build a Mark 6 War Machine Whiplash 2 type of a diorama. And I've always wanted to add a wine cellar with the garage, and then of course Vulture's going to need someplace to stand. So I suppose then my Spidey collection will go out there. And all of these Detolfs are nothing but Spider-Man in them. Probably my Deadpool's out there too. It's probably what I'll do. Probably what I'll do. So the delivery, the construction time normally is about 2 months. So the money was submitted. I received notification that the order is in. So the dealership has sent the order to Chevrolet. So now the next um, response I'll be getting will be directly from Chevrolet saying order accepted. Now, this is something new that they just started. Before, Chevrolet would only contact with the dealership. And so you would have to wait to either hear from your salesperson or you would have to call and hound your salesperson to death to find out what the status of your car was. And Chevrolet announced this year that with the purchase of your Corvette, they will now contact the um, buyer directly with the order code numbers that show the steps of progress that your vehicle is going down. So the first one I'm looking forward to is order 3000, which is order accepted. So the order's in from the dealership. Now I'm waiting for order accepted. And then the next one after that, I think it's 3400, I think is the next code. And I think that means the build started. So um, in that regards, but it's normally about 2 months from the time you turn your build in to the time that the Corvette is ready. And that's if there's no problems of any sort. That's just normal, regular build time. And obviously, they had a huge tornado that ripped through there last weekend, Friday night, Saturday morning, and killed a bunch of people and destroyed a lot of businesses and damaged the Corvette assembly plant and the Corvette museum. Minor in regards to things, they totally destroyed a candle factory there and trapped workers in the candle factory. I don't know how they've come along with that, if they're still doing a search and rescue or if it's now body recovery. I don't know where the status is on that. The candle factory was totally leveled, totally destroyed, and trapped workers inside of it. So definitely my thoughts and prayers are to them and their family, those that lost loved ones and valuables through that tornado. Tornadoes are a mess. They are so unpredictable in regards to their path of destruction and how they will affect you. They could literally destroy your neighbor's house and not touch yours at all. It's crazy, 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 crazy. And when they happen in the middle of the night, that's when they're the worst. Because if you're laying in bed asleep, you may not know that the tornado is coming. If it's during the day, you might be able to hear it. They say that it sounds like a train whooshing through, or you might be able to see it and get out of the way. But gosh, in the middle of the night, like this one was, that's when it's the worst. So um, it has affected the build time frame of the Corvettes, but only minor from my understanding. So it wasn't huge damage. So there's a lot of damage done to the vehicles that they had completed that were ready to be delivered. They had a whole slew of Corvettes outside of the plant that they had built that were ready to be put on the trucks and sent to their destinations. And they've got some damage to them, and I don't know if they're planning on repairing those at the factory, if they're planning on pushing them out the way that they are, if they're planning on rebuilding some of them. I don't know to what extent that damage is to those finished products. I've seen in my lifetime car dealerships that experienced a hailstorm and they would have a hail sale on their vehicles on the lot. Now, Corvettes from day one, since 1953, the bodies have been made out of fiberglass. So they're not a metal body. And I don't remember which year they actually started making some of the body panels out of carbon fiber, but now it's fiberglass and carbon fiber, or may just be totally carbon fiber. But there's no metal pieces on the body panels. So if anything got damaged on the body panels from falling debris or whatever, I don't know. Maybe they can right there at the plant pop those body panels off and put them right back onto the car and still deliver it to you without there being any disclosure of damage because the vehicle has never left the assembly plant. I don't know what the plan is in regards to that, but I've seen a photo of some of the cars out there that had debris on them or near them. So I'm leading to believe totally that they were damaged in some manner, all the ones that were out there. Some of them may have been totally spared of any damage whatsoever, and those can be totally delivered. But so I don't know what all that is. I need to check the forums to see how that turned out. But they did shut the plant down for a week. So all this last week, the plant's been closed. So this should be starting back up again next week, or at least that was the comment that was made last weekend that they would be shutting the plant down for that week. Also now, though, normally they shut the plants down for Christmas as it is. So I don't know when the plant was going to be shut down for Christmas. Maybe it's this week. Maybe it was being shut down on Wednesday. I don't know. But they shut the plant down for Christmas. So they were already scheduling that as it was. So I'm anticipating probably March will be when my car will be available to be picked up. So that's where I'm looking at in a time frame as to when I'll be getting my new Corvette. Hot Toys put out a post saying, basically, do you want us to make the villains from No Way Home? Really? Well, the answer to that question is yes. I know the answer to that question as far as you being asked is yes. I'm assuming that was on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or something, which I quit following. I just stay out of all that. I pop into it every now and then to maybe post a message or to see if any of my friends are getting together to do anything. In the Camaro clubs and such. But for the most part, I just steer clear of Facebook and all that. It's just so toxic. My goodness. Absolutely insane the way social justice has gone. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Just totally stay clear of all of that. But yeah, the answer to that question, in my opinion, is yes, by all means, build the villains. So one of the villains obviously would be a big deal if they build the villain totally the way that it is. Um, but yeah, it'd be great. That'd be great if they did that. That'd be fantastic if they did that, actually. But hell, they never made Rhino from the wasn't that Amazing Spider-Man? Was it Garfield's Spider-Man that had the Rhino in it? Right? They never made the Rhino. They showed us they were going to make the Rhino. They previewed the Rhino. Put him at the toys fairs. Here's the Rhino. Never made it. You know. So just so cautious with Hot Toys claiming they're going to do something and then they not. The Yellow Jacket. They showed us a Yellow Jacket. Never got one. They showed us the number one Iron Legion. They delivered us number 3. Never gave us number 1. They didn't make Crossbones. They showed us a beautifully crafted Crossbones. We never got that. So we never got a Valkyrie. They showed us Valkyrie. That never happened. Yeah, I have very little faith that Hot Toys is going to deliver promises. So when I see a good figure produced by a third-party company, I say go for it. And I understand, not collecting third-party figures, but I just don't have any faith that Hot Toys is going to deliver pieces that they promise. Because there's so many out there that aren't being delivered, that have been shown us. Mark 28 Jack was showed us. He's nowhere to be found. Nowhere. I'm also alone, so I can do what I want. There you go. With the living room, I have one Detolf and some floating shelves. Nice, with figures. I'm running running out of space. That's the biggest culprit in 1/6 scale collecting. You know, the 1/12 guys, the 6-inch figures. I, it's hard to find someone that can run out of space collecting 6-inch figures, 1/12 scale. 1/6 scale figures take up literally like 10 times the space of a 1/6 scale figure. When you consider the footprint of it and then the height of it. So you're definitely limited in regards to how many figures you can display. Very quickly, you run out of space. You need a 5,000 square foot home just to display your figures. And a garage to put your 1/6 scale Millennium Falcon in, right? Right? If Jazz Inc. keeps it up, they're going to be building that freaking Millennium Falcon. They've made so many pieces to it. Do you have enough space in your living room? My living room is see, it's not very necessarily big. I think it's 16 feet by 22 feet compared to this, which is I think this is 8 or 9 feet by 12. I think it's 9 by 12 is the size of this room. So yeah, the living room is twice the size. But the living room had been, our room, the family room more or less. And there wasn't any figures displayed in it. Well, she had a couple of figures displayed in her collection, which I'll keep. I'll merge those into mine. And a lot of bric-a-brac, things that were important to her, memories and such. Because memories is what makes us who we are. We're told that in The Matrix, and we're told that in Blade Runner. So we need our memories. So a lot of her bric-a-brac I'll keep. Some of it will get put into boxes. I don't know what to do with it, to tell you the truth. And then I'll just take over the living room. Put the figures out there. Probably do that over the next couple of weeks, because I'm not going to be here for the next 2 weeks. I'm not going to be here for Christmas weekend. I'm not going to be here for New Year's weekend. So give you guys a break. And I think I'll take that time to work on this. That should give me no excuse not to have something done by the time I see you guys on January 9th. So that'll be the next video. And then also by then, we can talk about Spider-Man and everything else. Full on. Because if you've not seen Spider-Man by then, I have no sympathy for you. None. I think the Mandalorian or Boba Fett's coming out soon also, right? I think somebody had said something to that effect. I don't remember. Pretty sure it's supposed to come out this month. The Boba Fett Mandalorian spinoff on Disney. But I guess I've kept you guys long enough. We'll cut this a little bit short. Appreciate you guys tuning in with me, spending time with me. I love every one of you. And I look forward to seeing all of you and spending time with you. I really do. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to do this. So instead of sleeping in on Saturdays, I'm up to spend it with you guys, because I love spending my time with you. And I love you guys spending your time with me. And I chose that time because it seems to be a good enough time to be able to get everyone from all over the world. I think maybe only New Zealand, possibly Australia, might be the only ones that aren't up at this hour and some of them may even actually be, don't know exactly what time it is over there, but I think it's late, like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. So that's why I do this at this time frame, because when it gets over to Europe and etc., Singapore, those areas, it's Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening. I mean, well, let's see, what time is it in the UK right now? It's 8:45 at 8, so 4:45 in the afternoon, I think, in the UK, right? And Singapore, I think, is like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, more or less. So this is why we do this, to try to get everybody worldwide that would want to tune in with us can tune in and participate and chat with us. And I enjoy talking with all of you. That's why I take the time out to read the chats instead of ignoring the chats. So I'll back the chat up, even just to chat with you guys, to see what's important, what's been going on, what you guys have been talking about while I've been running my mouth. Oh, geez. New lockdown. Oh, my God. Thank you very much, Jake. Thank you. You guys do too. You know, whatever holiday it is that you celebrate, be it Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever it is that you do. I would imagine most of the world at this time of the year has something going on where they reflect back and spend time with family and exchange gifts of some sort. So Merry Christmas, because that's what I celebrate. Merry Christmas, and I hope you all have a good time. And it's nice to have a New Year's on Friday night for those of you that enjoy spending New Year's Eve out doing something. So hopefully it'll be good for you. Get out Friday night, have a good time, safe time, and then be able to sleep it all day Saturday on New Year's Day. So I'm gonna not broadcast on Christmas Day, which is next Saturday, nor New Year's Day, which is the Saturday after that. Just not gonna do it. Let you guys do what you want to do. Spend time with your families, you know, or just enjoy a day off. And I'll be here right after that. And definitely, we should have some updates on the Corvette by then. I would assume or hope that Chevrolet will have accepted that order by then, and be able to give you some updates on regards to that. And again, that doesn't tell you when it's going to be done, because anything can happen. Heck, they could be halfway through building your Corvette and the thing could catch on fire, and then they got to start over again from scratch. Because there's a point where, they start with like the base of the vehicle, the frame, the transmission, the engine, all those are the same, unless you're getting a Z06. It's a different engine in that regards, but all the Corvettes come with the same engine, and then there's a different performance exhaust on them, but they all start off life the same way. And there becomes a point where they start building your Corvette, when they start putting your suspension on it, when they start putting your exhaust into it. But the engine and transmission, rear end, they're the same. Unless you're getting Z06, that's a different engine. But other than that, it's all the same. They're all automatics. There's no sticks. You can't order a stick shift Corvette. They all come with paddle shifters, but it's all automatics now. So you can't even choose between the automatic and manual transmission. So they start off life just as a generic Corvette going down the line. But then there's a point where yours is actually being built. And so then if there's something happens to yours, they got to start back over again. So there's no telling for fact when it'll be done until it's done. And then when it's done, it's done. So Yep. Thank you all for tuning in. Really nice talking to you. Go see Spider-Man. Enjoy it. And if you want to get a tearjerker, like I said, go see A Journal for Jordan. Really, really good movie. Denzel Washington did an amazing job directing it. He really knows how to pull on your heartstrings. Denzel does. And you can definitely feel that when you're watching the movie. You can feel Denzel's presence in the movie. He literally directed it well. It definitely is a Denzel Washington movie. No doubt about it. It's got Denzel written all over it. So go see that and enjoy that too. A Journal for Jordan. Tomorrow I'm going to go see The Nutcracker. I've never seen The Nutcracker. So it's what's it called? The Bolshoi Ballet, right? So it's a film of that there at the movie theater. So I'll be watching, instead of a play or a ballet, it will actually be a ballet, but it'll be on the big screen. So I won't be watching live action um, players putting on the play, but I'll be watching it. So I'll be watching that Sunday. I've never seen the Nutcracker Suite, so I'm going to check that out. So I love you guys. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, a safe New Year, and enjoy your families. Tell everyone that you care for, that you love them, because you never know when will be the last time you'll see them. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. Take care of you guys. Peace. Love you all.